Chair Hobart. Commissioner Balch. Commissioner Faria.
Here. Here.
Here, but I can hardly hear you.
Here.
Boo. Alternate Commissioner Tam. Alternate Commissioner Rosen.
Here.
Let the record reflect, roll call has been taken, and we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Our next item is item number 3, public comment. A chance for members of the audience, either online or in person, to make public comment on a matter that's not listed on the agenda, but is within the jurisdiction of the Alameda County LAFCO. The commission cannot act upon these items, but speakers are allowed to make comment on them. Is there any public comment either in the room or online?
No, sir.
Okay, let the record reflect we're now graced with the presence of Commissioner Balch. I was late too, Jack. It's okay. And I'm going to admit that now I understand when I push the microphone button. Green is good, red is bad, but in this case, red is on. Okay. How to run a meeting 101. Okay. The next item is item 4, a consent item. There are 3 consent items: approval of meeting minutes from May 14th, LAFCO recorded payments from May 1st through July 1, and proposed contract amendments from Colantuno, Highsmith, and Watley. Is there a motion to approve the consent items?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll
Maria?
second.
Thank you. Is there any public comment on the consent calendar?
No, Chair.
Is there any board discussion? A motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Hobart.
I vote yes.
Commissioner
yes.
Balch.
Aye.
Commissioner Faria.
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson. Commissioner Marchand. Commissioner Miley.
Yes.
Commissioner Warner.
Yes.
Let the record reflect the motion passes.
Very good, thank you. We now have item 5, an agency profile of Washington Township Healthcare District. I'll turn the meeting over to Rachel for a brief staff report and introduction.
Thank you so much, Chair. So as commissioners may recall, the commission initiated this municipal service review to evaluate the governance, services, finances, and operations of healthcare districts and emergency medical service providers throughout Alameda County. The Washington Township Healthcare District was selected as the first agency profile to provide a foundation for the broader countywide review. The commission will first receive the completed Phase 1 agency profile. LAFCO will then consider authorizing ADW Consulting to proceed with Phase 2 of the countywide healthcare and emergency medical services municipal service review, with a contract amount not to exceed $97,500 and completion anticipated by June of 2027. At this time, I'd like to invite our consultants from ADW Consulting to present the agency profile. We have Adam Wilson, principal of ADW Consulting, and Rick Balchbaum, who will provide an overview of the Phase 1 findings.
I'm learning too, sir. Rick and I have about a 10-minute presentation. So if you would grace us with that time, we'd really appreciate to kind of go over the overview and the high-level report and a little more in depth with the finances. But good afternoon, Honorable Chair, Commissioners, your esteemed Executive Officer. My name is Adam Wilson, as Rachel introduced. I'd first like to thank the members of the Selection Committee and this Commission for the opportunity to work on this project. Additionally, it's been a privilege to work alongside the district, its executive leadership, and staff throughout this process. Healthcare districts play a vital role ensuring communities have access to high-quality medical services, and for more than 75 years, the Washington Township Healthcare District has been an essential provider of healthcare services to residents of southern Alameda County. Joining me today is my business partner, Rick Bucksbaum, who led the financial analysis for this review. He will present the financial findings and discuss the district's fiscal condition later in the presentation. Today, we'll provide an overview of the district, summarize the key findings of our review, and conclude with recommendations. Overall, this review found that the district is well managed, with experienced leadership, strong governance, a solid foundation for meeting the evolving healthcare needs of the communities it serves. While the district continues to face financial challenges common throughout the healthcare industry, it has demonstrated sound financial stewardship, maintained strong liquidity and positive cash flow, and implemented strategic initiatives that position the district effectively for their long-term sustainability. With that, I'd like to move over to the purpose and framework of a municipal service review. Well, but that one, there we go. As you probably know, municipal service reviews are required under California's Cortese-Knox-Hertzberg Local Government Reorganization Act and provides LAFCO with an objective evaluation of how public services are being delivered. As noted on the slide, their agency profile evaluates 8 key areas, including governance, services, financial condition, facilities, community health needs, regional partnerships, and the development performance measures for future benchmarking. Together, these components provide a comprehensive assessment of the district's ability to continue delivering high-quality healthcare services and help inform your body for future sphere of influence updates and other LAFCO planning decisions. This Phase 1 review also establishes a consistent baseline that can be used to compare Alameda County's healthcare districts in the future with a more comprehensive municipal service review as indicated in Phase 2. Real quick, just a quick little overview of the district. The district was established in 1948 and its hospital opened in 1958 to serve what was then a very small agricultural community, about 22,000 residents. Today, the organization has evolved and rebranded into Washington Health, a comprehensive regional healthcare system serving the cities of Fremont, Newark, Union City, as well as the southern portions of Hayward and unincorporated Sunol. The district operates a 415-bed acute care hospital along with an extensive network of outpatient clinics, specialty services, and community health programs. Over time, Washington Health has evolved into a comprehensive regional healthcare system supported by strategic affiliations, including UCSF Health. Moving on to the governance and organizational structure, this is one of the district's greatest strengths, is its governance. The district is led by a 5-member elected board of directors that provides policy direction, fiscal oversight, and accountability to the public. What distinguishes this board is its exceptional continuity and depth of experience. Collectively, the current board members have served an average of more than 23 years, providing consistent leadership. Overall, the review found a highly experienced governing body with a strong commitment to fiscal stewardship, high-quality healthcare, and guided the district through periods of growth, major capital improvements, financial challenges, and in the evolving healthcare landscape. Real quick, who does the district serve? Community and demographics. This district serves one of the most diverse communities in California. Its service area includes approximately 350,000 residents, representing a broad range of cultures, languages, and healthcare needs. Nearly half the residents were born outside of the United States, and the region has a significant Asian population, along with a growing number of older adults. These demographic trends to continue to drive demand for culturally appropriate care, language accessible services, chronic disease management, and expanded outpatient care. And our last slide about the district related to, this is the, sorry, Rick, we're gonna miss your slides. Healthcare services and community programs. Yeah, we're a little messed up. There we go. Washington Health provides a full continuum of care from emergency and trauma services to cardiovascular care, cancer care, women's health, orthopedics, outpatient services, and primary care. The district's partnership with UCSF Health expands access to advanced specialty care, such as cancer, while allowing many patients to receive highly specialized treatment close to home rather than traveling outside of the region. The report also highlights the district's strong collaboration with local governments, nonprofit organizations, and regional healthcare providers to improve access and the coordination of care. That concludes the overview of the district and the community it serves. At this point, I'd like to turn the presentation over to my business partner, Rick, who will walk you through the financial analysis and the district's fiscal condition. Yours already on there, but it starts there.
Perfect. Red is on. So it's nice. Hi, I'm Rick. It's nice to meet you all. Appreciate you having us here. Really, today we're going to talk about a financial overview. We're not going to get into the great detail. We're going to kind of give you the broad brushes, the details kind of in the report. We're going to talk about the strengths of the organization, which is the positive cash flow, strong liquidity. Currently, the cash on hand is above 110 days. That they just had a Measure B bond approved, and the revenue cycle improvements that are underway. We're going to also talk a little bit about the challenges they face, which really are around operating losses, rising labor costs, and reimbursement uncertainty, which is just common throughout the whole healthcare industry. So the financial performance, I only go back to 2005. The report goes back many years. We've had operating margins that historically had about a 7% loss. That has actually improved because of some of the strategic initiatives that have taken place. To this year in 2025 was a 4.3% loss, and then improving to quarter 3 of 2026 to 2.8% loss. This actually, if you kind of go back to where they were in 2025, they had a $30 million loss. And if you use the third quarter and annualize just how they've come along with the strategic initiatives, that would project about a $7.4 million loss, which is a dramatic change. Now, utilizing a multiplicative of 1 quarter is not necessarily the best way to go, but the strategic initiatives look like they are paying off for the organization. This is a significant approval from the overall average loss of $28 million that they had. Nationally, I did want to say that, you do see hospitals across the country having a positive margin of roughly about 3%. So I think they're trending in the right direction, and with the positive cash flow, really that's based on the large building constructions and depreciation. They should be able to not have a problem working towards the future. So the way I look at this is the hospital has a lot of community support which help that and enable them to kind of have a really good positive cash flow. They did a large project. You can see we kind of go back to 2024. They raised $190 million from back in 2024. Then again in 2012, they raised $186 million. And then again in 2020, they just raised $425 million to really replace their infrastructure. As you can see, it looks like about every 10 or 12 or 13 or 14 years, you're going to have to go out and actually go to the community and ask them again for help. Or they have been doing that in the past. What you'd like to do is have enough positive income to not necessarily ask the community in the future for that. The community has overwhelmingly supported Measure B, which is a $13 million tax assessment, which is kicking off this year. And then in addition to that, the public support that you get is also from the district hospital direct payment program, which is a state program. And this year they're about to receive roughly $13.7 million, and that is going up over the next 3 years. So the community and district financial support is strong, and that's what's funding the cash flow, or part of the cash flow, enabling this hospital to really manage itself and work towards the future. That, in addition to the strategic initiatives, puts it in a strong financial position. Business. When we first started looking at this, they had just engaged BRG revenue cycle, BRG to do a revenue cycle engagement. That engagement actually is projected to have an annual positive impact of about $40 million. Combine that with the Measure B parcel tax of another $13 million. You look at where they were last year, and they have about another $53 million that or close to $53 million that should come in the future, depending on the success of the BRG project. That really, if you kind of look at the negative sides that are out there of what's coming on, every August, the federal government comes through and puts out a bunch of new rules, and it's hard to project. You really can't say what the government's going to say. They're going to say, hey, in August, starting January 1st, here's your new hospital revenue. There's a lot of pressure from not only that, within the state, there's the HR 1 impact. Again, these aren't budgeted. They're hard to estimate what the impact's going to be. And then also the Medi-Cal enrollment freeze. So you have some headwinds that are out there. They're unknown. They will always be unknown, and they're very difficult to predict. That's just the nature of healthcare. So you could have a cybersecurity attack. It's happened before. That can also be an unknown headwind. There's a lot of things that occur within hospitals and within the healthcare community that could have an impact, and hospitals always have to be aware and looking out for that. That being said, if you look at the net impact of what's going on, it looks like it could be a positive, upwards of $40 to $50 million impact based on the initiatives they have going on. So the key findings, I'm going to turn it back over to Adam and go through that.
Thank you, Rick. Yeah, so to kind of start wrapping this up, the key findings of the report, overall, the review found a well-managed healthcare district with significant organizational strengths. These strengths include experienced leadership, modern facilities, strong community partnerships, positive operating cash flow, and a long history of providing high-quality healthcare. At the same time, as Rick indicated, several ongoing challenges were identified. These include reported operating losses driven largely by depreciation and industry-wide cost pressures, rising labor expenses, long-term capital debt associated with facility modernization, and the uncertainty surrounding future reimbursement policies. Importantly, it's important to note that these are not unique to Washington Health, but reflect a broader structural challenge facing hospitals throughout California and across the nation. Moving on to the recommendations. And based on the findings of this review, several strategic priorities emerged to actually help strengthen the district's long-term sustainability. First, continue improving financial performance through revenue cycle enhancements, disciplined fiscal management, and optimization of reimbursement opportunities. The report also recommends expanding outpatient services and community-based healthcare programs to meet evolving community needs, and continuing to invest in workforce recruitment and retention, and implementing the final phase of the facilities master plan and seismic compliance projects. Finally, the review recommends strengthening regional partnerships and establishing standardized healthcare performance measures that will enable Alameda LAFCO to benchmark healthcare districts consistently in the future municipal service reviews. Together, these recommendations are, again, intended to strengthen the district's long-term sustainability, enhance access to care, and help the district respond effectively to the evolving changes in the healthcare industry. And with our last slide, that's pretty much in conclusion, the review found that the district, again, is strong, well-managed, and serving a very diverse population of Southern Alameda County. The district benefits from experienced governance, responsible fiscal stewardship, and a clear commitment to meeting the healthcare needs. This phase 1 agency profile establishes an important baseline for future evaluations and provides your body with a framework to deliver phase 2 and assess healthcare services through a comprehensive municipal service review. I appreciate your time and your attention, and Rick and I are more than happy to answer any questions or field any comments that you may have. We really appreciate that time.
Thank you for the presentation. Before we go to questions from the board, I'd like to see if there's any public comment, either online or in person.
Thank you, Chair. So we do have members from the district in the audience. We have Kimberly Hartz, the CEO of Washington Township Healthcare District, along with Angus Cochran, the Chief Community Services Advisor from the Healthcare District, and I believe they would like to address the commission.
Welcome.
Learned. I know how to do red. Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, Chair Harbert and LAFCO commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity today to provide some public comment on the agency profile of Washington Township Healthcare District being presented. I'm Kimberly Hartz. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Washington Health. I've held this role since July of 2019. I've been with the healthcare system since 1994, so for quite some time now. I truly believe in this model of healthcare, and we're all working hard to continue to sustain being an independent community health system. I want to begin by giving also my thanks to Rachel Jones for so generously sharing her time with us during this drafting of the Phase 1. The context you provided was very helpful for me, and I know for Angus in understanding the bigger picture of how this report was being put together. My thanks also go to Adam Wilson and Rick Bussbaum for their collaboration on the document when we offered information and edits. Because of the collaborative efforts and partnership throughout the process, we believe the report does accurately reflect Washington Township Healthcare District in many of the aspects that were discussed today. There are, however, a few areas where we would like to offer some different perspectives, particularly regarding the characterization of Washington Health's financial performance. First, we feel the report places a strong emphasis on the health system's negative operating margin, but also, and I know that they did present that today, giving more consideration and equal to that consistently positive operating cash flow that we have sustained for many years. We understand there are challenges, and we understand that working for hospitals in this kind of environment is challenging, and there's not one thing that is going to help us to move through where we stand today. But there are 4 areas that we've been focusing on, and a number of them were outlined in the report. Operating income is certainly an important financial measure, but it includes also significant non-cash expenses such as depreciation and pension accounting adjustments. A more complete assessment of our financial stability also requires balancing our operating income with cash flows and other liquidity measures. So as I said, there are a number of areas, and we work with Moody's and other rating agencies, and they look at all aspects of our financials, and that's one piece of it is our operating margin, but there are other areas too. The second point I would like to make is about the MSR's goal to develop recommended performance measures for the healthcare district. I want to make sure that the Commission understands that Washington Health already collects longitudinal data for dozens, if not hundreds, of performance measures. Our performance is continuously assessed by organizations such as the Joint Commission, Leapfrog, Health Grades, CMS, or the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, American Nursing Credentialing Center, and numerous other state and federal regulatory agencies. These organizations evaluate patient safety, quality outcomes, operational excellence, governance, and financial stability, providing a comprehensive assessment of our organizational performance. My broader point is that hospitals are one of the nation's most highly regulated and independently scrutinized industries. As a result, unlike many other special districts, healthcare districts require a broader evaluative framework, which at times I feel is missing from this report. In closing, I want to make sure the Commission knows that despite ongoing regulatory, inflationary, and marketplace challenges, we are committed to the district hospital model. I am proud of Washington's 68-year history working as an independent, community-owned public hospital. And I intend for this institution to be here for another 68 years. Ever since the residents of South County established the healthcare district in 1948, we have been there for them. And as you heard, they have been there for us, with helping to pass general obligation bonds to meet those seismic requirements that all hospitals in the state of California have to meet. All of us at Washington Hospital, the board, our employees, and our staff and volunteers come to work every day with one mission, and that is to serve our community. And we are here to serve our community for the next 68+ years. Thank you very much. I just wanted to make those public comments, and also happy.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comment, either online or in the room?
No, Chair.
Okay, very good. Let's bring it back then for discussion and comments. I do have a question for our financial team. I heard 100 and some days of cash flow. Yeah. So strong cash flow. Cash on hand.
Cash on hand. So it's above 110 days of cash on hand.
So then how do you have
such a operating loss?
So again, it comes back down to depreciation. So in essence, depreciation is if you buy an asset for, we'll say 100 million, you're going to depreciate that over 5 years. In this particular circumstance, you got a bond for it.
Is EBITDA a better measure than net operating loss?
I think both of them are decent measures. I think
Do
ultimately.
you measure EBITDA?
What? Yeah, we did.
okay, it
It's
was
actually, it's listed on there.
Okay. Do they both have the same weight in terms of what you evaluate the hospital on?
They do long-term. They don't have the same weight actually. So when you have organizations that are publicly funded and you're constantly relying on public funds, then operating income is not as necessary, not as important if you can continue to rely on public funds.
I guess what I'm getting at broadly is while everything else looks like very positive, strong management, days of cash on hand, EBITDA, even a small blemish like negative operating cash flow, when it can be explained, might give the wrong impression. Not that it's a false impression, but a wrong impression. The financial viability of Washington Hospital, I think we agree is it solid or is it shaky?
Oh, no, I stated, as I stated, I
Yeah.
thought it was solid. There's no issue
Yeah.
with it being a going concern.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I thought I clearly stated that. But yes, Commissioner, I do believe that it has no issues going forward. What you'd like to see is actually a positive net income with the depreciation. So then in the future, you might not be as reliant on the public for funds.
Okay. That's just my thoughts. Anybody else?
Yeah.
I'm looking over here. I'm going to go Warner, Berea, Ralph.
So I'd
You
like
too.
to
Okay, sorry.
like to build on that last point because I think she kind of addressed it. First of all, it is very strong cash flow, right? And so there's nothing bad about that. Now, with EBITDA, that's earnings before interest and taxes. Now, do you guys pay taxes?
No, just interest.
Okay, so the point here is interest is a cash. Okay, that affects cash flow. Depreciation does not. So the cash flow is the key number. Now, the question that I have is you compared the net income to other hospitals, and you said other hospitals have like a 3% margin. Is that what
That's the national average.
Right, but is that of district hospitals that have got tax money coming in?
So if you go by the state of California, you'll have a bunch. You probably read in the news. You'll see what happens at Palomar, what's happening at Tri-Cities.
So what I'm saying is what that number that you gave of the 3% is a mix.
It's a mix of most hospitals. You have other ones like
Right,
El Camino
so-
that are doing phenomenal.
But I was going to say is this, they're not exactly all apples to apples.
No, absolutely correct.
So of the hospitals that are apples to apples comparison, what's that? What's that net income average?
I guess I don't know if I can actually say how many hospitals are apples to apples.
I'm just suggesting that for this report to characterize this organization, you would use that number and not all.
I could use the ones that are close by.
No, but I'm just saying, do I have that correct? Okay, so I would just say revise this to compare apples to apples.
Absolutely. I can use the state of
Okay.
California.
Because the government funding is significant. Okay, the other hospitals don't have it. This one does. Now, the other question that I have, and it's again for the hospital, is would you expect to ever get to a point of a positive margin if you ignore the tax revenue that you're getting? Because that's kind of what you were saying.
The goal should be, yes.
No, I know that's what you're saying. I'm asking a hospital if that's what the goal should be.
So, of course, we always work to improve the affordability of healthcare. Okay, so we understand that in terms of looking at it from that way, and we know that we can always take on different things so that we can help to ensure that we're here. Because that's the other thing, is we want to be here for our community. So we want to lose less, absolutely, from that standpoint. But we have a lot of, part of our mission is to serve this community out in this community and take anybody that comes through our doors. So unlike bigger healthcare systems, we see a lot of those who may not have insurance or underinsured, and we take care of them. And in Southern Alameda County, we're the only ones in that. St. Rose's, we're very familiar with, it's close by, but we take care of those in Southern Alameda County. So that's what our challenge is. And comparing to somebody like El Camino, they are a similar type of hospital, but they're in a very different situation in terms of payer mix and all of that too.
So that's all I was trying to get to.
Yes.
So I think your answer was that your tax revenues will always be in the equation because of the demographic you serve and the way it's set up, and to expect a positive ignoring the tax cash flow seems not reasonable. That's all I'm saying.
We have to have the cash. You have EBITDA,
Right.
like you said, is so important because we have to be able to invest in our services, and that's the main thing.
That's where you get the government funding, is for the capital stuff. But the other
Right.
hospitals don't get the government funding for that. So they
Yes.
still have to cover the interest on their
Right.
capitals. So what I'm saying is, my suggestion is that if we're going to compare the performance of a district like this, especially financially, we do it on an apples to apples basis, because this is different.
And there are hospitals in the state that are also profitable and similar. If you go down to Pioneers, down in Imperial Valley,
Right.
they're profitable.
Yep. I'm just saying the comparison hospitals should be similarly constructed.
Yep.
Okay, that's all. The other question I have with respect to, my impression of what LAFCO is supposed to do is assess the quality of the services. Is the community being served? What I don't think I saw in the report so far, and I like the report, and I think the performance is great, but I don't see a voice of the community. Now, I know you have a lot of performance statistics, but I would think as we do this, we would want to find out, does the community think it's being properly served by this entity?
And I think Kimberly actually answered that really well. She, there's a lot of different surveys that they're being looked at, Leapfrog and all those.
What I'm saying is, as we develop a methodology for doing these service reviews, that's an important aspect and should be included.
So you'd like us to list the star rating?
On your, anyway, that...
Yeah, I think that, and I think your point is well taken. As I said, there's a multitude of different metrics at hospitals, healthcare districts that we have to make sure that we're accountable to. And especially as a healthcare district, we're accountable to our community. And that, if our community is not aligned with us, then we shouldn't be here.
And I'm saying this report should reflect the degree of alignment and how it's measured.
If I could just add to that real quick, I think what you're alluding to would when if we're gracious enough through this action today and moving into a phase 2, I think that's where we'll get down to be able to dig deeper down into what you're alluding to about, is the community being served? Because as you've indicated, the purpose of an MSR is exactly that. Are the services being delivered to the communities in the most effective and a healthy way? Phase 1, this is just an agency profile. It was kind of a high art, overarching look about what the district look like, how they're performing. And like I said, if we're able to move this into a phase 2, it will be a much more comprehensive, deeper dive, which will be studying the other 2 districts, and we'll be able to take an integrated look on how all 3 are working in the region. Are there overlapping services? Are there service gaps? And how do we make those improvements related to those metrics? So it's a comment that we've received, and again, I think we will be able to take a deeper dive with that in phase 2.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any
I think
other
this is a good
questions?
report, and I think great performance.
Let's just go down the line this way. And then.
Thank you, Chair Albert. I have just a quick question. So I heard Moody's referenced a couple times, but is it relevant to know what the Moody's rating is, because the financial strength and stability, I mean, isn't that kind of what they do as well?
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the Moody's has 3 or 4 benchmarks, metrics, like that they look at, and we have to meet those for our bond covenants. So
But I didn't see that in here. I didn't see what the rating was, and I didn't know if it was relevant or but basically it would be one of the things that would show how strong you are.
Exactly.
And that's. Did I miss the rating? I did. Okay, my bad. I saw it listed as Moody's a couple times, but I didn't.
Excuse me, Commissioner Rosen, it was rated A.
Okay, thank you. That was my question. Thank you.
Next.
I want to just support the work that is being done at Washington Hospital. They have a very strong positive reputation, strong community support. And I want to acknowledge the district for taking on assuming the care of maternal child care from St. Rose. St. Rose was closed their maternal child services, and Medi-Cal has no place to send those moms and babies locally. And Washington Hospital District assumed that care. And so I want to acknowledge them for that. Additionally, I want to just point out that as a result of H.R. 1, we don't know where all the cuts are going to be and what the impacts are going to be. And I know that their services are available and open to everyone. And it is as a result of what they've done, the trust that they've engaged with their community, that they were able to pass these bonds to continue to support them. And so I feel that they are doing an excellent job, and I want to thank you for that.
Well said. Ralph?
So my question revolves around regional collaboration. I think the report alludes to the collaboration to save St. Rose Hospital. I think all the partners that have participated in that should be commended. I've a couple questions. One is I don't think I saw Sutter Health as being part of that collaboration. Were they part of it or not? And then the second question would be, what kind of future challenges does this regional, what's your next problem to solve?
Yeah. In terms of the partnership with trying to save St. Rose, Sutter did not play a large role in that. And as I said, I think that, we really believe in being there for our community and trying to figure out how to do that. And that's, the challenge that we have. And again, we also have Kaiser in this community, but we are here to serve everyone in the community. I think in terms of looking ahead, it is not easy for independent health systems. It's really not, but we've had the support of our community for 68 years, and we continue to have to, if we're not relevant to our community, then we're not here. We just became a level 2 trauma center 2 years ago because people would come up to me on the street and say, I was in a major accident and I was in Fremont and I couldn't come to Washington. And they asked me why. Mm-hmm. And I did not have a good answer for that because, right. So we worked hard to become a trauma center, and supervisors supported us in that. And that has been one of our volume continues to grow. And that has been one of the biggest things as, to be able to serve our community in that way. That we're going to have financial, yes, the cost of benefits and the cost of labor costs are continuing to go up. Our supply costs are going up. But we've got to continue to look at our mission of strategically how to serve our community. And we have to do it in partnership. I'm not saying we should stand alone without any partners. You need to work together. And I believe in that. But I also believe that we're going to continue to fight with this model to serve our community. And it's not going to be easy. But we feel that looking at quality care, looking at strategically the services, looking at financials and being affordable for this community, and building that infrastructure are the 4 pillars that we have to continue to focus on to be successful.
Thank you.
Sorry, I know it's a long answer.
It's quite all right. I'll turn to this side, but before I do, I want to recognize that indeed Washington Hospital doing a great job taking on the births of St. Rose and the longstanding history that St. Rose has doing that. I know some great people that were born at St. Rose. And now they'll be born at Washington Hospital. Mayor Marchand, Balch, any questions, comments?
There we go. Okay. All right, so we're good. So You got the level 2 trauma center and the Tri-Valley didn't, but that's okay.
I knew that was coming.
I know.
I knew it.
But I used to work in Fremont, and of course, Washington Hospital was an icon in the community, and certainly appreciate that. This is not the first healthcare district that I've considered while being on LAFCO. And looking at the strength of Washington Hospital within the community and comparing it to some of the other agencies that we've evaluated here on LAFCO, I have to applaud that it's an extraordinarily well-run district. The services that they provide to the community are critically important. And as you have demonstrated time and again, you have tremendous support from the community that you serve. So just to congratulate you on doing a great job in serving the community.
Mayor Balch.
Yeah, thank you very much. So my parents live on the Sonoma-Fremont border, and so they know Washington Hospital well. I was not born there, but I was born in Fremont. So I'm a CPA by training and profession, so this is something I get to see. And one of the things that I was taught in that work is it's a little difficult without benchmarks or comparisons for the industry, as one of my fellow colleagues has said. And I also understand that we should probably be wise to not only compare to like district hospitals, but also statewide and others. So I think all of that comparison and data as we go forward to phase 2, right? And then we'll have the, at least for Alameda County, we'll have that comparison further out in our own. And I think that's frankly what I take away as LAFCO's responsibility and mine here. The payer mix is a very interesting concept. Talking to Stanford Healthcare Tri-Valley, the payer mix is just such a challenging issue right now for so many in the industry. So I actually appreciate the timeliness of this review. When I look at the long-term health trends, we can see how COVID just threw everything out that maybe we all knew, and HR1 is doing something similar. But I look at the actions that your longtime leadership board has provided to get on, I'll call it a remediation path, and the bond in the community to support it. So when I see that none of us predicted COVID, and I see that your organization is working to address it, and it takes time to recover from such a significant thing, that gives me comfort in the leadership and the direction that your district is going in from what this shows. And then I'll just mention, EBITDA and cash flow positive is obviously excellent, and you can work with that. Long term, of course, you'd want to be net income positive, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I don't think that's, and it's not outside the goals, but we understand why. And I think the key will be, at least in the role and hat that I sit on here, will just be to make sure you continue to make progress towards that, right? And it appears that based on the steps, like I said, the bond and just some of the work you've done for cost constraint, you're already well on your way, it appears. So we'll just let time play it out in my position. But I appreciate the strong leadership on your board and the actions you've taken in your leadership role in the past number of years. So thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments. And I do agree, the goal needs to be towards the break-even point. So.
Good. Ditto on the strong management. Ditto on the support from the community. Congratulations on the bond overwhelming success. I think the takeaway from here is we have this phase 1 done. Big thumbs up for Washington Hospital. Recognition that the data is all there and correct, and how we have a strong financial situation even with a negative operating net cash flow for now, moving progress in the future to positive, but a benchmark that we can measure all others by. And I guess as we do, in addition to each of the metrics, I think that we're just going to have to find a way to make sure that we're comparing everybody, like what Bob said, like for like, apples to apples. And this is a benchmark way to do that. A question I have is, what is phase 2? How many phases are there? Are there just 2? And why don't we do 1 and 2 together?
Well,
Yeah.
We didn't do it together because
Okay.
that's what the commission voted for, just for the consultants to show us an agency profile, just to make sure, you know, that all the data was right. We like the report. And so moving forward for phase 2, it would encompass all the healthcare districts in the county, as well as the emergency services county service area. And that would include the full MSR report.
Okay, fair enough. Moved by Marchand.
So wait.
Oh, one second. Does Miley, do you have anything to add in comments, questions?
No, I don't have anything to add. You guys have said it all.
Thank you. Warner.
So what I was going to say is it was my impression that this was sort of a prototype. That's why phase 1 wasn't complete. That's why I was giving the suggestions for how to complete it in the next thing. The other thing is, again, what I'm trying to wrap my brain around is when you think about, you know, operating cash flow of a business, businesses don't normally have tax revenue injected, right? So this earnings number is without the tax revenue coming in. So that's a huge difference. I just want to point that out. It's night and day. So let's remember, this is a government-funded entity.
Very good. A motion's been made by Commissioner Marchand, seconded by Faria. I saw her nod first. She's my go-to second. Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Hubbard,
I vote yes.
Aye.
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 Yes.
Yes, but I can barely hear you.
Commissioner Warner.
Yes.
Let the record reflect the motion passes.
Very good. Next item is item 6, audit report for fiscal year 2024-2025.
So thank you, Chair. The commission engaged O'Connor and Company to conduct the independent audit of Alameda LAFCO's financial statements for fiscal year 2024 to 2025, as required by state law and the commission's financial and accounting policies. The purpose of the audit is to provide an independent evaluation of the commission's financial statements, internal controls, and accounting practices. The auditors issued an unmodified or clean opinion concluding that Alameda LAFCO's financial statements fairly present the Commission's financial position as of June 30th of 2025 in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. The audit found no material weakness or significant deficiencies in internal controls, and the transactions reviewed by the auditors were supported by appropriate documentation. Financially, the Commission ended fiscal year 24-25 with an audited fund balance of $261,054, representing a decrease of approximately $148,062 from the prior fiscal year. This reduction was anticipated and largely reflects planned expenditures associated with Alameda LAFCO's transition to becoming an independent agency. The auditors also issued a management letter containing recommendations intended to strengthen the Commission's financial policies and administrative procedures. These recommendations primarily relate to formalizing certain internal policies and procedures following the Commission's separation from Alameda County. I'm pleased to report that staff has already implemented, and the Commission or is in the process of implementing these recommendations as part of our transition to independence. As a result, staff anticipates these improvements will be reflected in next year's audit. I'd also like to note that while this audit reflects our financial position as of June 30th of 2025, as of June 30th of this year, Alameda LAFCO's current unaudited fund balance is approximately $305,000, which is consistent with the Commission's goal of maintaining reserves equal to approximately 33 or 1/3% of our annual operating budget. Staff looks forward to working with the Commission during our strategic planning workshop early next year to further evaluate long-term financial priorities, reserve levels, and organizational goals. I'd also like to introduce Anahi Cineros, partner with O'Connor and Company, and they are here today and available to answer any technical questions the Commission may have regarding the audit or financial statements. With that, I'll return the item to the Chair for any public comment and Commission discussion.
Is there any public comment in the room or online?
No public comment, Chair.
I'll see if there are any questions first, seeking to my left.
None?
Questions, comments? This way? Questions, comments? I'd like to thank O'Connor and Company for participating today, but we have no questions. I'll ask for a motion to approve the financial audit report. Been moved.
I'll second.
By Marchand, second by Warner, to accept and approve this report. Roll call vote, please.
Yes, Chair. Chair Hobart.
I vote yes.
Commissioner Balch.
Aye.
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 Yes.
Yes,
Commissioner Wiley. Thank you.
yes, now I hear you better.
Sorry about that. Commissioner Warner.
Yes.
Let the record reflect the motion passes.
Very good. Our next item is item 7, Castlewood County Service Area Update.
Thank you, Chair. So on June 10th of this year, the Alameda County Board of Supervisors adopted a resolution to initiate proceedings to dissolve the Castlewood County Service Area. The county's action reflects its desire to transition governance of the Castlewood CSA, to a more appropriate long-term service provider. Under LAFCO law, the Commission cannot proceed with dissolution until a successor agency has been identified to assume responsibility for services currently provided by the CSA. As a result, staff has been coordinating with both Alameda County and the City of Pleasanton to better understand the available governance options. Staff has met with representatives from the City of Pleasanton to discuss the next phase of this effort. At this stage, there is no predetermined governance outcome. Rather, the objective is to conduct a feasibility and fiscal analysis to determine which governance model, if any, is practical, financially sustainable, and in best interest of the Castlewood community. The Commission previously authorized Burks and Associates to complete a Phase 2 feasibility and fiscal study. This study will evaluate potential governance alternatives, including the fiscal implications, service responsibilities, infrastructure considerations, implementation requirements, and other factors necessary to support an informed decision. Because of staffing transitions currently underway at the City of Pleasanton, work on the study is anticipated to begin in early 2027. In the interim, staff is working with the county and city to identify the information and level of analysis necessary to ensure the study addresses each agency's decision-making needs. Once the feasibility analysis has been completed and a preferred governance model has been identified, staff will return to the Commission with recommendations regarding the appropriate reorganization process and any necessary LAFCO proceedings. With that, I'll return the item to the Chair. Just please note there's no action on this item. It's just for information.
Let me ask first, is there public comment on this item?
No public comment, Chair.
Thank you. Any questions, comments over here?
Yes, I'm sorry. So I have a quick question. So the study is going to actually determine what the best course of action is, whether it's possibly Pleasanton taking over, them becoming a CSD, or what other alternative options there are. But as part of that study, is there going to be a lot of community outreach? Is there a consideration, not just the fiscal management of this, but also maybe raising awareness to the Castlewood, because I'm not sure everyone is fully aware what they would get as benefits or what their costs would be and what changes would be involved. And I think the community outreach would be important. Is that part of the study?
So thank you, Commissioner Rosen. That's a very good point. I believe overall the study is just to identify what's fiscally feasible, what options would fiscally be feasible. It's not necessarily to select, oh, this is the best one and we're moving forward with that. It's just to paint a picture of what's going to work for the community. Now, I think it's a great idea to perhaps include somewhat in the scope of community outreach and to get a feel on what the residents of Castlewood would like to do. So I think that's a great idea to include some community outreach in the scope and report that to the commission in conjunction with this study.
I see Supervisor Miley's raised his hand, and I note he's been involved in Castlewood for quite many years. Supervisor Miley, I recognize you.
Oh, thank you. So appreciate the fact that we're going to take a look at this. Two things. Rachel, how long will the study take? When can we anticipate this coming back to us?
I believe just due to just the staffing changes right now, I would expect to have that study completed in summer of 2027.
Okay, so about a year from now.
Yes.
Now, we will get the study, but we can't compel any direction. Can we?
Thinking on that, let's say whatever comes out of the study, definitely the commission has input and some say so on what the best governance model would be. So there's definitely some direction that the commission can give. And let's say, there's a better model that would come out of the study, then yes, the commission can say that this agency should be the successor.
We could say it should be, but can we compel it? If you can't answer it, maybe council can answer it.
Yeah, commissioners, the commission has a limited power to compel another agency to be a successor agency like this, particularly where not all of the agencies at issue have been the applicants. But the commission can certainly work together with the affected agencies to push folks to go to what makes sense as the outcome of the study shows. If we go down the road of having to figure out, can we compel an agency to be the successor, I'd want to do an assessment of that closely. Generally, that's a difficult thing to do, but I'm answering generally because we have somewhat limited facts and we don't yet have the outcome of the study.
Sure. Okay, well, that's helpful at the moment because I'm hoping it all works out. And I think this is a positive step to do this study. And I've got my fingers crossed, but as I've been told a lot of times, hope is not a strategy.
Commissioner Balch.
Yeah, thank you very much. So wearing my commission hat, I am interested in to see how the study works out. Wearing my other hat that brings me to this body, the city of Pleasanton hasn't been in chat. There's obviously, and maybe the staff can help us confirm, but there's a question about, burden onto current Pleasanton residents and what the overall portfolio looks like for Emerge. And so I think the challenge that Pleasanton's had is we're not sure the condition Castlewood's in, frankly. Maybe I just say it like that. And so hopeful that this provides that roadmap so that my voters don't reject a roadmap.
Absolutely. And yes, absolutely. And just working, that's why we're waiting from the city staff, just because we want to make sure that we're all aligned and they get all the information that would be valuable to make a determination included in the study.
So I have
Commissioner Warner and then Johnson.
Yeah, it seems that when Commissioner Rosen mentioned public outreach that not just to Castlewood, you'd want to outreach to Pleasanton, right? And so the other question I have is there kind of any time of the essence issue here? And are we actually moving as expeditiously as we can, even though there's been the personnel change? But it seems, my impression is if we can wait as long as we're waiting, and this has been an issue for a long time, that it's just, in the end, a financial settlement between the parties. But the question I have is Castlewood at the moment being adequately served? And what, didn't I hear something about fake fire hydrants and things? I mean, that doesn't sound safe. So is this okay to have this continue this way? Are they adequately served or not?
If I may, staff, before you answer that, and if I may, so just yeah, thank you. I think what I'll just maybe make the commission aware of is Pleasanton is currently in the middle of 2 annexations already, one on our east side that is pretty significant, many acres of land, and we have the Merritt property, which is coming back to us pretty close, or just did.
Just wrapped up. Yeah.
Yeah, just wrapped up. So, which is on our west side, and then the Lester property. So, yeah, we're getting really good at annexations apparently, but this came along after, and maybe not so good. This came along after those were already staffed, budgeted, scheduled, and so I think that is what staff's. I'm speaking for my staff, but I don't know, and I'll let this staff, boy, help us with the, is Castlewood safe?
Thank you, Commissioner Balch, and thank you, Commissioner Warner, for your question. So I will say, staff has heard, or there is some concerns with the level of the service that they're receiving, but nothing is a health and safety emergency at this time, or most likely will not be within the next year. Everyone is getting adequate services right now, but there's no dire issue at this moment.
Any other, Johnson? Yeah.
So I maybe can add a little historical perspective to this. I was on the county public works staff when we added the water and sewer service to the Castlewood service area. I mean, at that point in time, both water and sewer systems were completely they were terrible shape. So something had to be done. And to illustrate that, I mean, Commissioner Warner mentioned the issue with the fire hydrants. One of the first things that we did is we had the fire department out and do a fire flow test on the hydrants. Come to find out, the hydrants didn't have any water at all. And the reason for that was the homeowners promptly pointed out to us that my insurance policy just asks, how close is the nearest fire hydrant? It doesn't say, is there water in that fire hydrant? So that helped us convince the residents that lived out there that they really needed to do something with their water system. Probably 1985, 86, somewhere like that. We were also under pressure from the Regional Water Quality Control Board to upgrade the sewer system. We worked very closely with a group of homeowners and the country club folks to do a collaborative project to upgrade both water and sewer systems. We hired a consulting engineer that designed it, and they were the construction inspectors, and it all worked out very nicely. The homeowners paid for it through a bond issue. One of the things that we attempted to do was to get either the city of Pleasanton or to maintain the system. Initially, they didn't do that. We actually went to Dublin San Ramon, and Dublin San Ramon voiced some interest in it, and I think that's spurred Pleasanton to come in and say, we'll do it. That kind of went on and off. And one of the things that we had a problem with was that I think staff knew that we had to have a consultant on board who knew water and sewer systems. Because county staff, really, that's not our expertise. It wasn't. But in working through that with the homeowners group, I mean, they have a very strong homeowners group there, and you had to convince them to make an expenditure. If they said no, then you really couldn't. I mean, the alternative would be to go to the Board of Supervisors, but that means that wasn't really fair, so we never did that. That's probably what, over the long term, that's probably what led to the failure of the system and how it got to be where it is, because my observation is that they didn't raise their rates. And I know from my experience with sewers, if you don't raise your rates every year, it gets to be so big that it's almost embarrassing to raise them, and you can't do it. So I'm not sure what the alternative is now. It could be.
So I'll add the county is still operating the CSD.
Yeah.
County is very interested in the continued discussion of annexation into Pleasanton.
Yeah.
The maintenance of the sewer system and the water system is of paramount discussions.
Yeah.
It had been serviced by Pleasanton Public Works for many years. It's now managed by an off-site consultant. Indeed, we're having discussions about making sure that things are safe and that if water suppression needs to be activated, it can be activated. So all of those, and Daniel and Public Works is really working hard to give the best service that they can, indeed, with the rates that they have.
Yeah.
And we're working through that. So indeed, it's safe to live in Castlewood. There are no imminent public threats of any kind, but we need to keep it that way. So the one question though, I'll finish up last and have Mayor Marchand go next. Go ahead.
A little more historic perspective from Commissioner Johnson. I worked for the Alameda County Water District. And Alameda County Water District, there was the citizens utility. And of course, citizens do it better than anybody. And particularly, it's cheaper than anybody else can do it. The only problem was they had wooden mains that were disintegrating. They were deteriorating, and there were actually worms in the mains. So there was actually, it was a public health concern, and the Alameda County Water District had to take over. Well, it's unfair to have somebody else pay for somebody's infrastructure. And it's those who benefit pay is the mantra that we all understand. So they actually had to undertake a facilities district within to create a property tax to pay for the new infrastructure when ECWD came in. So there has to be some way to finance this, and that there aren't too many people that that can fall to, and it probably falls to the residents. And but it's the public safety concern that you mentioned.
Yeah. So I think the question of are we moving as fast as we can was answered by Mayor Balch. They have a few other annexations in the works before that. We have this on the list to be completed starting in early 2027, finishing in middle of 2027.
Correct.
That sound right? So we can agendize annexation for later in 2027. Would that be fair? We'll put it on the agenda in October, November. I'm looking at Mayor Balch. He's turning his head the other way. We'll hear what the data has to say. We'll hear what the data has to say, and then we'll see where that takes us. Indeed, we don't compel this to happen. We simply do the study. We let everyone see the data. We throw the question out there as the recommended best practice or best case scenario, and we see where that takes us. Nothing happens without strong leadership. Nothing happens without teamwork in this regard as well. So there are options, and we're going to get to the data first. I'm channeling my best Bob Warner. We're going to get to the data first and then look at the scenarios. Are there any other, no action taken, no public comment?
Commissioner,
Yeah.
Commissioner Miley, did you have a comment?
Nate, comments?
Well, it was just fascinating to hear the history and the conversation. And you kind of summed it up, Chair Halbert. I can't wait for the study to come back to see the results. This is going to be fascinating.
Very good. With that, and thank you for pointing that out, that Nate wanted to speak. We've concluded item 7. We'll move on to item 8, establishment of ad hoc committee to handle the selection of the alternate public member. We did this once with the member. Now we have to do it because the member was the alternate. Domino effect, we have to fill the alternate. So who wants to be on the committee? And if you don't get volunteer, you get voluntold. Who wants to be on the committee to find the alternate? Rosen?
I just have a question. I have a question. I have a question. I was reading through it, and it sounds like there's got to be someone from each level, right? I just wanted to be clear.
One county member, one city member, and one special district member.
I just wanted to get that out in the public.
David Halbert will represent the county.
I did the last one. Miley got this one.
Let
You want to do it again? All right. We did the last one. We'll do this one. Is that what you want to do?
I'll do that.
Who else then did it? Was it?
Because we made a great choice last time.
Okay. All right. So Marchand, Halbert, and Johnson. Is that good? Boss makes a motion. Seconds. Roll call vote.
These sometimes go off, and then they sometimes go.
Somebody back there is turning off.
Sorry, Commissioners.
seconded, right?
Rosen cannot second because he's not a voting member. Because he's sitting as the alternate because.
Oh.
So it would need to be.
Do I
one of
have
the
to let him
voting
talk then?
commissioners. Yes.
Commissioner Myers, you want to second the motion?
I'll second.
You can't even
Perfect.
second the motion? I guess you can't vote on it, so you
Yeah,
can't
as,
second
as
it.
not a voting member, can't make
Okay,
motions or
Balch and
seconds. I'll
Ferrea.
vote.
All I can do is talk.
But asking questions is absolutely in
some.
order.
I was alternate for many years. I get it. I vote yes.
So we,
Yeah, Freya seconded.
yeah, Commissioner Faria is a second, right?
Yes. Okay. Chair Hobart.
I vote yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Balch.
Aye.
Commissioner Faria.
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson. Commissioner Marchand. Commissioner Miley.
Yes.
Commissioner Warner.
Yes, but am I included?
Yes. Let the record reflect the motion passes. Thank you.
Very good. We have concluded item 8. Moving on to item 9, the Cal LAFCO board nominations for the voting delegate. I note that in October 21st through 23rd in Sacramento is the annual California Cal LAFCO conference. The voting member would need to attend. And I'm looking for volunteers or volunteers to be the Cal LAFCO voting delegate. This is a position historically served by Splendorio on many occasions, but he's not here. Marchand's done it.
Great event.
It always is. And whoever goes must reinstate the wine competition. I would hope bring wine from Livermore. Hands going up. Who wants to do it?
Oh, I'm going. I'm not sure. You can.
We have Rosen attending.
Ralph Johnson to be the voting delegate.
And then Peter can be the alternate.
Okay, so a motion's been made by Marchand to appoint the voting delegate as Ralph Johnson and Rosen being the alternate. And Maria will second. Is there any public comment on this?
No public comment.
A motion's been made and seconded, again, to appoint Ralph Johnson as the voting delegate and Rosen as the alternate. He's an alternate? He
Yeah,
can be an
I could-
alternate? Okay.
I was last time, but I have a discussion comment.
Yeah, let's hear discussion of the board before we take a vote.
Whoever's the magic new public member alternate, I would highly recommend that they quickly go to, I would recommend that. Yeah.
Will we have the alternate selected from item 8? Yeah, we got to get it going. Can we do it?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. I love that. I'll make sure Johnson and Marchand and I will make sure we do. That's a great suggestion. Get involved right away.
Yeah.
Suck them right in.
LAFCO 101.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any public discussion on this? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
George Hobart.
I vote yes.
Commissioner Balch.
Aye.
Commissioner Faria.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Marchand.
Yes.
Commissioner Miley.
Yes.
Commissioner Warner.
Yes.
Let the record reflect the motion passes.
Very good. Item 10 is matters initiated by members of the commission. Warner.
I would like to suggest that looking at these service reviews, and on the hospitals we're a few years in arrears, that we probably need to add a staff member so that we can get these reviews done on a more timely basis. So I'd like to add that to our strategic discussion.
And a what member?
What we need a
Staff member.
A
Okay.
staff member, right? I mean, this isn't it's a couple of 2 decades, And we're supposed to do it every 5 years. So I think we need to staff accordingly to our requirements.
Can we review the opportunity to add staff hours to the municipal services review
Oh, sure. However,
requirements? Is that looking at Rachel?
Yes, so definitely we can consider that and have a discussion about staffing at our strategic planning workshop, which should be held early next year.
Very good. Anything else? Matters introduced. Miley, Supervisor Miley, Commissioner Miley, Director Miley.
Yes, hopefully I'm not out of order, but I'd like to say that if we could adjourn in the memory of former Supervisor and Commissioner Scott Haggerty, many of us knew Scott, and it's really tragic that he passed away recently. And I got on the commission 26 years ago, and Scott was on LAFCO, and I just think it'd be befitting if we could adjourn his memory, and it still hurts that he's gone.
Supervisor Miley, Commissioner Miley, I think that's a wonderful and heartfelt recommendation. Thank you. We will take that up at that time. Anything else? Matters introduced. We'll go to the executive director's report. Rachel, item 11.
Thank you, Chair. There's nothing to report at this meeting.
Just to confirm, we've had no public comment on items 10 or 11. And now item 12, informational items.
Thank you, Chair. Just that we're still processing our proposals. We should have one for commission action, most likely at our November meeting. And then we also have a LAFCO local agency directory that we will post on the website. But Commissioner Rosen did point out that there's some errors that we will correct before we post on the website and get that up. And then at the end, we just have a Cal LAFCO update. Cal LAFCO is just taking a lot of work in revamping their board and their organization right now. And it seems like a lot of LAFCOs that have left are coming back. I know LA LAFCO is rejoining the membership. I think right now we're just, Marin is undecided, if I'm correct, and just a couple others, but it seems like now everyone is rejoining. And yes, Commissioner Rosen.
So I had a question about that. So I was reading through the report. It sounded like there's an opportunity for reassuring some of the people that had left because all the seats are up for election this year. And so that's one way that they could actually get their voice and feel like that they're empowered. Because there's what's going to happen at the conference is you're going to have 1 year and 2 year conferences. All the seats are up this year. It's basically like you're starting fresh. So
Thank you, Commissioner, for pointing that out. And that's it for informational items.
Very good. Anything else for the good of the order? If not, I note that we have a committee, policy and budget committee meeting on Thursday, August 6th. We have a regular meeting scheduled for Thursday, September 10th. And we should please join me in a moment of silence before we do adjourn in the name and honor of former LAFCO Commissioner Scott Haggerty. Thank you all. With that, we are adjourned.